Já bych vás rád opět požádal o pozornost. Dostali jsme se k další části
So this brings us to the next part
BRNO
of the Industry 4.0 conference.
Já myslím, že co se organizátorům této konference pravidelně daří,
what the organizers are doing well is to look for the real life stories of the companies and real life implementation of the technologies that form Industry 4.0.
Následující pasáž
So the next session
bude zaměřena na hledání
will focus on looking for the examples or demonstrating the real-life examples.
Tady v sále ještě probíhá návrat
some people are still coming back from the coffee break, so maybe some housekeeping instructions for the upcoming time. Perhaps we did not stress enough in the morning that the program will be divided. So once this session is over, once we come back and give room to the next speaker, then you will be divided into 3 parallel sections about flexibility of production, digitalization, and cybersecurity. Just before this session is over, I will specify the instructions. So without further ado, I just wanted to attract your attention that the next speaker will certainly deserve. It doesn't really matter that you ignored me, but you should not really ignore the next presentation because you will lose interesting inspiration from Continental in Brandýs nad Labem, because their digital production plant is really truly digital. So I believe that Jakub Hamerník's presentation from Continental will show you an example of digitalization, and it definitely deserves your full attention. So without further ado, we will talk about the case of Continental. So I'd like to ask Mr. Hamerník to tell us how it works. Good morning. So, good morning. Welcome at the conference, Cluster 4.0. My name is Jakub Hamerník. I come from Continental, from Brandýs. Sometimes I ask my friends, people I know, where do they think I work? In the worst case, they tell me I'm a reception at the hotel. Better case, I'm a tire designer. So the video I'm going to show you should show you the automotive sector within Continental. So please pay attention to the user experience, the division where you can see the plant in Brandýs, which is one of the mega plants within this division. So as you could see, the product by Continental can be found in every vehicle. In fact, we supply to all our customers in automotive, and I've asked you to pay attention to the user experience division, UX. And in fact, our main mission is how to reflect UX strategy into the future digital plant. UX is also taken as a new horsepower. So currently you have e-vehicles that are almost identical in terms of the powertrains. And what attracts us as the customer is the display, the cockpit, the infotainment, how in the future we are going to interact with the car. At the same time, our vision is always ahead, always exciting. And this is the global, absolutely global view. And now, in the next video, I would like to show you the plant in Brandýs, so that you can see what the mega plant contains in terms of the technology, production processes. So enjoy the video, it's quite nice. So I hope it's clear how the digitalization should work. So this could be the end of the presentation. Nevertheless, let's look at the smart operation in Brandýs. Well, to us, it's made of 3 foundation stones, which is production efficiency. Why to do digitalization without having any benefits? So each project that we start needs to have some rate of return of the investment. In the first part, we heard that these are quite massive investments, but the rate of return is pretty fast. The payback time is pretty fast, whether it's well suited to the process. Sustainability, well, this goes without saying. This is a major topic, but it's also about people. These are the 3 major foundation stones of the future of digitalization. It doesn't work without people. It doesn't work without new ideas. So how did it start? We have specified the key processes in administration, logistics, the industrialization of the production lines, and focused on them. We also focused by defining KPIs so that we could identify whether the digitalization has the benefits, yes, no. At the end of the day, you have proof processes, concepts. At the end of the proof concepts of the individual area, you make an evaluation of the project and then you roll it out. And we have set up 2 teams, Digital Factory, Mr. Fichtner, a smart automation, which is led by me, and we focus more on the production part of the digitalization and the production itself. Digitalization and Industry 4.0 in Brandýs, holistic approach. We are not looking at certain islands, but see it as a whole, how to industrialize and how to interconnect not only us with our suppliers, but the suppliers, us, and the future customers. So this is the main thing that brings new customers to us, because it's not only us asking for digitalization of the production processes, but our customers themselves ask for it. And this is what we call a unique selling point, which is something that the customer requires and something that differentiates us from the competitors. At the same time, digitalization and 4.0 industry includes all processes, administration, people, logistics, and production itself. And the last motto, which is one of the main ones, you cannot automate or digitalize without establishing a standard. If there is a standard in place, a data standard, hardware, software standard, a standard setup of your organization, without that you will never be successful in automation and digitalization. At the same time, our mega plant of Continental, we are now the biggest one in terms of the sales worldwide in the Continental brand. The sales are over 1 billion euros a year. So we were also selected as a model plant, as a brownfield in Continental to build up a digital production plant. This gave us great investments, great assistance from the central departments like IT department, industrial engineering department, process engineers. Everyone was involved. So we needed to react, and we reacted by creating 2 teams, the digital factory team and smart automation team. They work in an agile arrangement. So I'm going to talk about later the digital team, digital factory team. They work on their projects and they bring immediate results. So this is what I've mentioned. We are divided into speedboats and speed shuttles. Speedboats are projects that are directly targeted at the target. And these projects are from 1 hour up to 1 week long. For example, during COVID, we were able to make an application checking all our manpower in Continental, finding out whether they were tested for COVID. If they were not tested, it was connected to the attendance sheet and the employees were not allowed to enter the plant. At the same time, we also managed to save some time with filling in some requests because of the COVID tests were carried out by an external company. And then we have space shuttles. These are long-term projects from weeks up to years. So here we are mainly talking about standardization, digital twins, data collection, standardization, and data analysis and connection to AI. So all these 3 areas, administration, production, and logistics, if you could focus only on one of them, it cannot really exist, because administration is connected with production and logistics, and production is connected to logistics. At the same time, logistics are connected with production, and you need to make sure that you get the input material to the production line to process it, and then send to the customers through the warehouse. So I will speak about user cases, about the smart automation team. I have 4 minutes left, so we'll only look at the user cases that I find quite interesting.
Mr. Podzimek has already mentioned that the digital twin is our future, and I totally agree with it. We are going to talk mainly about the virtual commissioning, and we witnessed within our double war short, we as a Continental had to solve a bad strategic decision of one of our customer and industrialize a very challenging project within 1 year. This is about the first OLED panel for the automotive, which was produced in Brandýs. The second specific use case, and you could have seen it in the video, is AutoStore. We were the first ones within the Czech Republic who managed to install it and to use the function of AutoStore for within the construction, where we established a fully automated warehouse and to save 2,000 square meters for future production. Ergonomy is also very important, and I'd like to say how our industrial in the engineering is connected with the industrial health and safety and how we are able to evaluate it. Virtual commissioning. This is what I would like to present to our future suppliers and customers, what the virtual commissioning is. This is how we worked so far. We asked for equipment, then our supplier designed it, installed it, and commissioned it. And our new standard, which has been already applied, is the digital commissioning or the use of the digital twin in the virtual environment, which already puts the equipment into operation or commissions it. So what does it mean? You prepare all the codes before that. You have to have a one-to-one setup in such a and software equipment, so that then you can come with a USB stick to the computer and to transfer the codes to the actual production line. So this commissioning is shortening within the shop floor. And an interesting thing is that if we look at the project of one Audi customer, so we managed to remove nine collisions of the systems. Then we were able to change the design, and we changed it at the time of the design, and we were able to design the ergonomics of the workplace. So this is the production line producing panels for the Audi company, which has 15 workplaces, of them 13 being robotic. What you can see here is how the production line is going to work in the future and within the actual production. Thanks to our software by Siemens, the simulate process enabled us to achieve the ratio 1:1 within the cycle time, and it was 4 months in advance before the line was installed. We could see what actual time was achieved, and we had to react. We used digital twin also for other activities, where we were, for example, to eliminate possible losses within the cycle time some 4 months in advance, so we could react, and it was really beneficial. The second video, AutoStore, is built on mezzanine, that is the raised floor, and you can see here the installation. You can see how they are filled with the boxes. They are this is autonomous. The advantage of AutoStore. So this is about the material which you use continuously is stocked upwards. So if you need it, the picking is very fast. and at the same time you need a person who will just take or pull out the box or restock it. What I can see as a limitation is a box. It is 90 by 40, but within our electric production is not such a big issue because our input material for example, SMD lines is very small. If we talk about the integrated circuits, etc. Now we will see the cards, how the stocking. The main usage of AutoStore is in the commercial sector. I know that a lot of companies like MOL or ALSA are interested in this, and also within automotive it is useful, and in many other companies. The third topic is ergonomy. I mentioned that before the construction and modeling of the production company, we were able to analyze the ergonomy of the workplaces to avoid any difficulties with the health of our operators. This is a short video showing how quickly and efficiently we are able to simulate a human. This is what the Czech Association of Ergonomics looks. It is the L4, L5 analysis, which will be used as for the evaluation of occupational diseases. By this analysis, you can also prevent future disputes with your operators and employees, and showing them that their harm was not caused by the work at your place. At the end, you will see how we are able to evaluate the real-time ergonomy thanks to this suit, where we were able to connect gaming and automotive. So thanks to this clothing, we are able to censor the operator and to use the movement and the time collected videos in the digital world. So I mentioned efficiency of the production, carbon neutrality, Continental, Brandýs. This is the energy self-sufficiency, which we also want to achieve. We will install solar panels on all buildings, which should cover some 25-26% of our annual production. Consumption, sorry. Within the corporation, we have some social responsibility. We have some rules which show us how to deal with the customers and among ourselves. People. So this is, we can't do without people. You probably agree with this. But how can people support digitization? By ideas and by efficiency. Digitalization not only brings benefit to machines but also to people, and every person in our digital plant should have the same data at their disposal. So today you are not arguing about whose data is correct, but you argue about who would adopt the corrective action to avoid any future problems. And this is also a highly efficient culture. The people will be more efficient. They'll be happier because they won't have to prepare the data. The analysis will be brought to them by email or different ways. Today they can open all reportings and they can see where the poor quality in the production process occurs. You can start with the plant through through the standardization, data storage, and to the production, where the shift leader can see how what the production is doing. Then it is upskill. It is all without the automation and digitalization, and but people are not replaced. People will still be necessary in the plant. We have to improve the qualification of the people and keep training them. I just slightly delayed this conference, but I was doing my best. Thank you for your attention, and now I'll pass the floor to the colleague.
Já moc děkuji. Naštěstí, když se přetahuje a je to zajímavé, tak to tolik nevadí. Já myslím, že tady tenhle ten příklad zajímavý byl.
Anyway, it was an interesting example of digitalization. We'll definitely hear interesting stories from Mr. Zubr, who comes from Baumüller, Brno. And to be exact, the organizers selected an example how Industry 4.0 can work in practice. So ladies and gentlemen, I've been given an opportunity today to present the digitalization project in our production plant. I'm the executive in Baumüller, Brno. We are based in Skalice nad Svitavou, and my presentation sees the digitalization from a more global point of view. So I will also show you some facts and figures related to digitalization, and I might speak broadly about what this means to us. Maybe I will give you some practical examples, and in the afternoon, those of you who come to see the digitalization session, Mr. Shamshulan and Mr. Slama will be there as well, and we will show you how the digitalization was organized in our company and things that I don't have in the presentation. So first, I would like to introduce our company. Baumüller is a German company, a German holding, which is a family-owned business. We have several production plants. The one in Skalice is the biggest plant right now. So we have about 400 employees. The turnover last year was 1.5 billion crowns. And this success we have achieved is greatly supported by the fact that about 4 years ago we started dealing with digitalization, and this topic has helped us in a number of areas. As regards our product portfolio, I don't know if you know us, but we produce power trains and electronics for powertrain control. The plant in our site is mainly about the powertrain production. Electronics are produced in Germany. What needs to be mentioned is that we produce customized products. So we don't really have serial production. We speak about small series production. And of course, it has high demands on how to control the plant so that it makes sense and brings economic results. So at the bottom line of the slide, you can see some of our powertrains. So we cover the entire portfolio, all kinds of motors you can think about. So we have the production of synchronous motors with permanent magnets. We have asynchronous motors, but this is a small part. And then we have special products such as linear motors, wheel motors, and electromagnetic brakes. So this is about the products. So if we look at where the industries, where the motors go. So Here in the bottom part you see the main industries. So I would mention what you see on the slide in the middle. So this is a plastic processing machinery. This is the greatest part of our supplies, extruders, injection presses, and then of course metal processing machinery, presses, all kinds of machinery. A major part which gains importance are foil processing machines, because these foils are very much used in the battery production for e-vehicles. So you see a great increase in the production, and this is where we use our synchronous motor with permanent magnets, because they have quite a high efficiency and they can be overloaded. And we don't lag behind as regards e-mobility, although Baumüller is not targeted at passenger cars. Most automotives deal with this topic themselves, but we focus on larger machinery, so trucks, agricultural machinery, and of course what you can see here, boat industry. We also have applications for boats and ships, so auxiliary drives or the boat propeller drive. So this is about the company. So now we should have a look at the main motive why we decided to go digital 4 years ago. So the main motive was to increase the production, because we started understanding that the requirements for the outputs are higher and higher. Customers ask for more, and we started hitting the limits of what our plant could produce. And I have to repeat, we are the largest production plant in our holding, and if we delayed the other production plants, then of course it would have a negative impact on the entire company. So this was a key point, and of course in order to increase the efficiency, we needed to deal with the production organization, the yield of the machinery, because we thought we were at the limit, and the digitalization showed us the opposite. Of course, automation and rapid changes, because as I've said, we have piece production, small series production, and the customers very often make changes even during the production process, or we have to make changes in the process. So this was a topic we had to handle as the first thing. I don't know if you can see the figures on the graph, but over the past 2 years we have doubled the turnover. So this means that this was a huge challenge to achieve this, given a situation when the labor market was exhausted. You know, if you buy machinery, new machinery now, you know that the lead time for the new machinery is over 1 year, and we needed to respond much faster, and digitalization helped us a lot, and I will talk about it in more detail later. The next point why we decided to go for digitalization was to increase the profitability of the plant, because as I've said, we have our mother company in Germany, and the owner who approved the investment kept asking, of course you want to digitalize, what do we get out of it? You will have some beautiful monitors, you will collect data, you will analyze data, what will it bring us? So we really had to start calculating when we start digitalizing what will we get out of it, because otherwise the owner wouldn't approve it. And I can say from our point of view, we were finally selected as a pilot plant where we started with digitalization within our holding. And until now, it's still the case. There is no other production plant in Baumüller that is so advanced as we are. So now we are planning an extension of the existing success and the entire system. and it will be now implemented into German plants. As regards the profitability, we wanted to eliminate waste, optimize the processes, paperless company, and of course, what is all about, it's all about data collection, data availability, data analysis, data visualization, and decisions. So this was a key point for us to start optimizing. The third driver for going digital was to improve the customer services, because of course if you increase the production, you increase the profitability, something has to transfer to the customers. In our case, it was mainly about the lead times, timely deliveries. The product should be of a high quality at a reasonable price, and information flow towards the customers. Because if you have thousands of orders in production and you need to process it, you have several production layers and you need to put it all together to meet the deadline. This was quite a demanding challenge at the time when we did not really generate such a high turnover, and now I cannot really imagine how we would give information to the customers if we didn't have tools to calculate and predict the deadlines. And one of the last main motivators for going digital was to ensure the future of our plant. We've heard that before, because the competitive element we had here in the past, like low labor costs, relatively good base of good experts from the former plants, from the socialist regime, this is all disappearing. So we are running out of experts. Everyone wants to have good salaries, which is quite a legitimate requirement. But in all the plants, we need to talk about how to make it economically feasible. This is getting more and more difficult, and digitalization helps us a lot in this respect. And the main point is that we are able to test new technologies, we are able to raise extra money for new investments. I will mention it later, how much it is in total, because that's probably what you are interested in. Of course, the topic of sustainability and ESG, which has been mentioned as well. ESG is a topic that everyone is going to deal with in the future to survive in the market. So this is where we understood that digitalization could help us out. So the main areas of implementation where we have started working on is, of course, production, maintenance, quality, and logistics. So these are the processes where the product flows towards the customer, and this is where you generate the added value. So these were the key topics. And in fact, this was all based on a standard ERP. We have Infor, and then we started dealing with APS, which is an advanced planning system. We have Preactor. And then, as the next step, we went for MES, so Actin with Mr. Slama, and the first pilot project was to deploy it in several machines in the machining shop, and now it has been almost finalized and it's going to be expanded to other production lines. And of course, we started collecting data and to analyze and visualize the data. The next topic that showed up was a tool for data collection and visualization. We didn't want to stick to Excel, so now we have a very nice production and quality. We have Power BI system. Our colleagues developed a very interesting system of reports, and they work very well, and they are perfectly automated. And the last thing that shows up as a new one, and this is something that the quality manager starts working with, is Power Automate, meaning that we should be able to automate some repeated standardized procedures so that we don't have to use a human factor. So time is running, so I will try to speed up. What has it brought? Maybe I will reveal all the cards, but this is somehow interlinked. So in fact, in all the departments where we implemented these systems, we started working on one thing, of course, improve discipline. This is quite surprising, not that much, but this is surprising because by implementing MES in the machines without doing anything else, it improved the efficiency. Of course, the efficiency has been increased once we started comparing the data and seeing the picture of what is happening in the production line.
Maybe I would compare it to the fact that you are like short-sighted and you need glasses to see better. We thought at the beginning that there were some things which were not completely in order, but they were only our assumptions. And suddenly we had the data. We could start deciding based on the data, and we could do something about the process. So there was definitely the efficiency increase. I'll tell you about the figures later. In terms of the production, so it is the elimination or better added value, paperless production, which in my opinion is also very important because today we have about 1,000 projects that we are working on with papers, and we want to change them into the paperless form. It is not possible to do it manually. In terms of productivity, it is the efficiency increase, discipline increase. We see exactly what our workers do because they have, and also the quality of the logistics is excellent. I also have mentioned here time is money. I perceive time in two directions. Number one is that we have managed to save time. So within a shorter period of time, we are able to do more. And the second thing is that we have time. We have the real-time data, and we are able to efficiently control them. And this makes the factory to operate exactly and economically. And you may say to yourself, so what can I do about it? How much has it brought? I'll show it to you. We basically, in the last 4 years, invested 274,000 euros in 4 years. Somebody may say it is too little, somebody may say it's too much. If we take it, so it's about 70,000 euros per year. What has it brought to us? So it has brought to us about 25% efficiency increase as opposed to the previous system without having to invest into a human or invest into the machinery. So it was a real major benefit for us at the time when we wanted to increase the production and didn't know how because the people were not available and the machines were not available either. The second thing which we have succeeded in was the increased production of the impregnation machine. This is very unique in our country and within Europe as well, because this impregnation machine was a bottleneck in our plant. And our technical director, when he saw the success of Milan Šamšula at the grinding shop, or machining shop, so he knew that we could use this. When we started digitization for impregnation, suddenly we saw one thing: the people were doing really well. there was not a single place without an added value. The second thing was that we started to focus on the process directly. The process is quite demanding, and if you don't do it well, so the motor will not be as of good quality. And the foreman found out that the production of the impregnation machine was increased by 20%. So it was also paperless maintenance, paper and quality, the paperless turning shop in the plant of the second quarter of 2023. This is ahead of us. And also the harvesting analysis and visualization of the data and the changes in the processes. So if you don't have the data, it means that you don't have the glasses on if you are short-sighted and you don't see clearly what's happening. What has it brought financially? So after 4 years of hard work, of excitement, enthusiasm, we have generated an annual savings of 300,000 euro. So if you take it, the difference between the spending of 70,000 euros per year, so and the savings 300,000 per year, so the savings is really great. We want to extend the system to assembly, and we assume that we will have a much greater savings as opposed to the previous condition. So this was the approach of digitization, which I see from the point of view of a technician, production person, designer, and I'm very happy to have good people around me, because you can't do this without a good people. We have an integrator, which is the acting company, but if you don't have people within who are excited and who take it as their own thing, so you won't succeed. So you have to have the people. Baumüller, BRNO, and the future digitalization. So number one, it is integration. We should be able to integrate all the systems which we have at our disposal today. We must be able to integrate them. We must be able to look at the support processes, because up to now we looked at the production and production support. Number three is administration. We really have to look at it. Robotization. You won't find a robot at our place as you know it, as we have seen in the previous presentations. It doesn't make sense. But as the volume of the projects is increasing, so the robotization is something that makes sense. And digitalization, so if I implement a robot workplace, so how should it be as efficient as possible? Digital twin, this is the thing which has been also mentioned. We know that we are going to expand the plant and our production. It will be changed, and I think that the digital twin project could help us. So this is another potential which we can exploit in the future. The topic of artificial intelligence, I really don't, I'm not able to see what the extent of what it can mean for us as a production company. ESG, digitalization, it is necessary for us to actively deal with ESG. And the last question mark, I don't know where the digitalization will take us, but I am not afraid. I think we all welcome it with an open arms, because we are curious about what we are going to succeed in within digitalization. If our colleagues from Germany support us, I must say that the support from the German head office is not as good as I would expect, but it is not so much to be dealt with in our company. One quote at the the end. Digitalization is not only about the technology, but about the ability to adapt and transform the world, transform yourselves and also the world around us. It's not my idea. It was generated by OpenAI when I got up in the morning, and I put it there as a question in Czech that I wanted to make a new quote for digitalization. So ChatGPT generated this. I think it's not that silly. And I think we should be looking forward to new things in the future. Thank you for your attention. I was honored to be able to speak here, and I'll be looking forward to our discussions during the break. Thank you. Thank you very much. Not only artificial intelligence, but you also have been who have said it very nicely. And you don't have to leave. We have the discussion panel ahead of us, and we'll talk about digitalization and how to increase the resilience of the companies. So I would like to. Thank you, gentlemen, for taking your seats. We are going to continue by the second discussion panel, and we are going to talk about the improving the resilience of the company. And I'd like to welcome the panelists of the second discussion. We could have heard Miroslav Zubr from Baumüller, BRNO. We have also here Mr. Jakub Hamerník for Continental, who had already spoken to, and the newcomers is Hégr from Minerva, Milan Tesař from InfoConsulting, and Jan Václavovič from JHV company. So we know who is who, but I'd be interested in knowing whether we know and have an idea about how the resilience topic penetrates the Czech companies, whether it is a term which the organizers put in by mistake because nobody does it in the Czech industry, or if not, because this is a topic which puts the companies into motion, and this is a topic where the digitalization can improve this resilience. So this is the kickoff, and I will have an opportunity, I offer the opportunity to speak. Nobody is raising their hands, but you have already spoken today. So if Mr. Zubr can start. Sure. We are talking today about digitalization, Industry 4.0. We have heard a lot of interesting things. And I think that this topic will definitely contribute to the improved resilience of the companies. And I'm sure it has also transpired in the last 2 or 3 years that the companies are able, if we set up proper tools, to react to a lot of changes which occur during the crisis situations, so they are able to react much better. So it is about the data. If you have the data, you can control it. If you don't have the data, you can't control it, or rather you can, but you don't know if you are going in the right direction. It's best to have the data as soon as possible, because if somebody comes science comes and tries to solve something later on may not be possible. I think this is a thing which can support the sustainability of the companies in the future, and I do hope that all companies will have had digitalization, and every company will have to be efficient because without it, it cannot do. I'd like to react. I've never seen the term resilience. Maybe it is because I'm a representative of a big company, but we say the VUCA world, which is the world which you don't know what will happen in and what would occur. And in our company, we say that this is our new standard, and if the company don't manage to live with it, so they won't survive. Anything can happen, the war, pandemics, and I don't want to forecast what else can happen, but if we are not agile and if we don't take on the challenges, so the company will not survive. I would like to ask Mr. Tesař and Hégr, who are the representatives of the information technology suppliers. This panel has a topic, digitalization and resilience. So how can digitalization increase the resilience of the companies?
Well, I would like to confirm what has been said, because no one has come to us saying that they want to get ERP to be more resilient. That's not how it works. But on the other hand, the ERP system, or any system, so to speak, brings order in data and brings the data in time. That's exactly what has been said. And once you have the data in your hand, you can respond. And you know what you need, what material you need, from which supplier. If not, you know who else to contact. You can think about replacements for the production process, and you can think about other things, and you cannot do it without well-organized data. Once you have all the data together and you don't fight in the company what the correct data is, and you react accordingly, this is what digitalization can bring to you. Well, maybe just an addition, we also work on the ERP system, and of course it's all about data, but it's also about people. People don't know what to do and what to fill in, what data to have. They don't have a clear description, no manual how to proceed. If this is not in place, then in terms of the resilience, if you have a large turnover in the company and it's not well documented, you lose the know-how. Quite often you introduce an ERP system, you have some fluctuation in the manpower, but the information is not carried forward and the company loses the know-how. So I would add this, we really have to focus on the people and we need to retain them. A couple of years ago, I was at an automotive conference before the pandemic, and we had run out of staff. And people and the companies should make sure that those who can really do something, that those people who are good, they should really be retained in the company because they have the know-how. Because if they leave together with their knowledge from the implementation process by working in the company. At least before the person is replaced by AI. Well, I think it will take some time, so let's hope so. I don't want to talk about you as an AI moderator. So, Hégr could of course, you pay attention to a number of projects. So my question is, can you give us an example when the technologies made the difference for the client, if it saved someone's business? Can you give us some specific examples when the technology was the main driver for changes in the company? Of course, we have some specific examples. Well, one of them, we make quite frequent supplies to Continental, and the latest projects, this is exactly what we are talking about here today. It's all about the interconnection and digitalization, because the projects or the production lines that we have supplied, I must say that they were at the top level of automation that we can deliver, and from the European point of view. And this is not about the mechanics, because of course this is not really rocket science, but it's about the data processing and data collection that Continental then, as the customer, can use to monitor the production and extracting the data. So this is one of the latest examples. Of course, we should talk about the bad examples, but at another time. So touching upon the examples, well, to be honest, when we organize these conferences, very often we only get one feedback, which is the same every year at every event, that we didn't really get real-life examples. So I would like to ask you, we heard some examples of implementing the digitalization systems, but we haven't heard anything from InfoConsulting. So give us some example from the practice so that we have a better feedback after this conference. Well, I might look at it, I might get a top view, because when we talk about the ERP system, at the end of the day, it's a change for the entire company. And it's not about some partial digitalization at some island, but this is a real interference in the nervous system of the entire company. And it's about the change management. And I got in a situation in the business negotiations where I can tell myself how the company will be successful during the implementation and how it can use the tool that we are going to roll out and that we can help with, and how the company can then develop the tool and how it can use all the features that it offers. So this is about the mindset of the people. And it's also about how they can enforce some innovations and how they can use them. So to give you some concrete example, last year's, for 1.5 years, we worked on a project for Ostroj in the town of Opava, which is quite a well-known machining company in the Czech Republic. And the success of the implementation for the company is also our success, but it's not only our success. About half of the success is behind the customer, and how the customer was able to contribute to the use of the tool that we delivered. And when I asked 2 weeks ago the design engineers from the company what it brought to them, what they spent 1.5 years on the implementation, the main thing that they were telling me was that now we see where we stand. We can see the data, we see the capacities we have, we know what we have in stock, we know what we need, what we have extra, and we can see it all, and we didn't see it before. Why? Because it was scattered in many places, and now it's in a single point for all the 6 divisions. So even the divisions can somehow cooperate. So this is one of the examples I can give you. Thank you. I will ask Minerva for their example. Well, just like my colleague, we are introducing the American EPR system, and it's not only about the system, because we also use APS, automation, planning automation, auto optimization, and other things So when we speak about the customers, Baumüller is our customer because many years ago we introduced APS solutions. We have a huge group of customers. Some of them are here today. Moraviakens is here for many years. They have been our customers. So maybe if you look at the time before the pandemic, and now the pandemic somehow showed that there are some fields where you can work differently. You don't really have to visit the customer that often. We have a programmer who likes traveling around the world, and the company doesn't really care where he's based. What is important that he's doing his work. Now we implement a project for Hamerník. They produce kitchen utensils, but what is important to mention is that the company is based close to Hanoi. So my colleague flew there, he analyzed what's needed, and all this is done remotely. He got to know the people. Of course, you can work remotely if you know the people. That's what it's all about. So this is how you can also introduce an information system. But what is important is that the company needs to know exactly what they need, what they expect to get. I have my presentation in the digitalization session where I want to give you some examples from mechanical engineering companies, why they wanted APS and ERP systems, why they wanted it, and what it brought them. I have Corrado and Fermat BRNO mentioned, so I'm going to talk about this later, and I think we have a slide about you, why you also introduce APS. Okay, thank you. So when you work on the feedback, I hope you won't say we don't have many practical examples. But I wanted to give you some assignment. We should find the common denominator for a success of the company to make the company successful in digitalization. So based on the answers, I would say that it's about people. Successful digitalization is only possible with people who believe in it and shift it onwards. And we have two people from practice here. So the representative of Continental, you have the leader you report to. I know that the CEO is the one who has the digitalization vision, who is really driving it. Baumüller, we have the leader here who is motivating the staff about the digitalization. So I wonder, could you give us some guidelines how to transfer this on the other staff? Once we have the motivated leader, of course, this is also a problem to find such people, how to gain such a person, but how should you then motivate the rest of the team for the changes? And as you've said, it takes a lot of efforts, a lot of time, and you can only see the result on a later day. So how can you transfer the enthusiasm within the company? So maybe I will start with you. How did it? Well, they didn't have to transfer it onto me because digitalization is something I like. So if someone tells me what to do, I do it. So of course I also introduce my point of view and my experience and skills. In Continental, I've been for 14 years. I also worked in manufacture. And what I needed was OEE production overviews. I missed the digital maintenance records in SAP from my staff, so I could make analysis and make efficient management of the maintenance department. So it's easier for me because now I'm leading a team of great technicians, and they are like kids. It's like a kid. It's just the toys are more and more expensive. So if the technicians have the equipment, if they can touch it, if you can invest time and money, then the examples are brought and you get the real results. I saw an investment of 250,000 euros. over the past 4 years. My budget is 320,000 euros per year. Just my department, it's just 9 people in my department. So we have the techniques in place, and then the people like it. It's something that drives them. They are full of enthusiasm, and they really like their job. So this is good news for all the partners and suppliers at the conference, because a successful company in digitalization is the one that purchases solutions from the partners. Then you are successful in digitalization. So now it's also about the budgets. Do you have some issues with transferring the digitalization down to the level of the operators at the shop floor, so that they understand that what they do is beneficial? Are you successful, or what are the main obstacles? Well, I think we are doing well, because otherwise we wouldn't generate the results. We have to divide it into several parts. I can say that I'm grateful to have people at the top management that want to go for it. So this is a key point.
If I came and said to everybody, so tomorrow let's do digitization and everything will be perfect, so they will be looking at me. But if they don't get actively engaged in it, so it will not be successful. It will stay with me and it will not be shifted anywhere. So at least in the top management, I need to have people who want it and who know why they are doing it. And why are we doing it? Because if we don't do anything, so the company will stop being competitive, because it will not be able to then generate the savings which digitization can bring about, or the competitors can get over you because it will be able to react faster, whether it is the quality of the service or other areas, and you need to have people who understand this. In a lot of production companies, there are a lot of technicians who are perfect in terms of technical things, but they are not as competent in economy. But it is equally important, because why are we doing it? I can imagine a young person who comes to the company and wants to do digitalization. He will or she will like it because of the technologies, but we have also people who are excellent technicians, but they say, why should I be doing it? Why should I be learning new things? Why should I start using the different order or different projects? Why not with paper? Why paperless? If we don't do it, we won't reduce the costs, and it is all about the costs. It's excellent if you see excellent monitors in the company and it looks good, but if you don't have the savings on the basis of it, so it doesn't really succeed. So please, perhaps with artificial intelligence, you should wait for the results. So please, short thing from the supplier. It is good to have excited people both at the implementing level and also at the level of the management, because they sometimes say, oh, I have a new toy, I'm going to play with it. And the top management should give them some economic maintenance and barriers so that it works. I have some practical experience. People really are very important, and nobody can be excluded, whether you have 300 companies or 1,000, they all have to pull one rope. Some years ago, one customer wanted to be helped with digitalization and wanted to include an information instruction in the digital form, which was fine. It worked very well, but there were some cases where the user was not well acquainted with it, and in the morning shift, instead of the line being able to work, so there was a screwdriver just stuck into the screen, and the worker was no longer there because he was not able to operate it. So please pay attention to this. If the technologies are automated, so it is quite an investment, and such outages will cost you a lot of energy. So it was a short comment. We spoke about expensive toys, but these are tools which bring value to the company. And now I would like to ask the gentleman from the supplier session, what is the added value which you bring into the company with your specific toy? Can you define it? We, in the Czech market, we implement the IFS system. And the added value which we work with for a long time is really the coverage of complete needs from the business to the production and service, basically providing the uniform version which gives you a good base for you to build specific projects on a fixed foundation. This is what we can provide you with. And if I look at what's happening in the area of ERP systems in general, which is a change as opposed to the current situation, so all manufacturers, or at least the global ones, including IFS, they make effort to deliver the added value in the form of new functionalities to the customers. So maybe there are some of you who have some old ERP system and they want to upgrade it, and they see maybe a giant and monstrous project and process as it was before. But the time from the start and developing of the new function to its getting to the customer is now much shorter, because everything is much faster. And we see it here all around. And I'm very glad that the things by which we hear at different conferences from the manufacturers as new developments. So this is what we can take and supply to our customers, which is excellent at this time. We have the representatives of both companies supplying the ERP system, but we have the different other systems which are abbreviated in different ways. You may understand them or not, but there are so many systems. But within digitalization, how big issue is it? If you don't have a uniform solution, but if you have islands of information systems, how difficult is it for you to interconnect these islands? Is this getting better within the education in the digitalization, so that you have comprehensive and united system? Nowadays, if we look at the communication of the systems, this ERP system is the most important. There may be some other systems connecting to the machines, the data from the machines, and we supplemented by APS, which is advanced planning by Siemens, and also there could be these are different products. If we look at the interconnections and standard databases, so this is something that we come across because this IBS by Siemens, we connect to different RP systems, and it is more like a safety and security thing rather than technological issue, because the companies have some security and safety regulations, and it is not easy for them to let them in their systems for data reading. So it is more like technological. So I would like to react as well. We came across it in practice 2 or 3 years ago when we had some data storages which did not communicate with each other, and we came to the conclusion that every data warehouse uses one data source. And we needed to put them into one uniform and united database so that the systems can pull out whatever they needed to process the data and return them. Continental has standardized, and the Brandýs solution is rolled out to all worldwide companies. I'd like to ask Mr. Zubr from Baumüller. You said that a lot of changes within digitalization was made within the production, but maybe not. You didn't look at the support processes so much. Where do you think that there is the major potential of digitalization? Is it still at the production level, or is it the rest? Is it like administration or the support processes? And how important it is for digitalization not to remain at the production level, but get across the entire company or entire organization. This is maybe what we spoke about at the end of my presentation, which is the integration of the company within digitalization. Because I think that the potential I still see in the administration and production. We can ask whether the potential would be better in the production. I can say yes, because the value is added, and the potential can be similar in the administrative sections and so support sections. But there is another question mark which I had in my presentation. At the moment, when you interconnect all this, there will be a multiplication effect in there, because everybody will be interconnected in one chain and they will be speaking in one language. So this is what I see as another potential in the production and administration. But when you connect all this together, and you will have a comprehensive picture how the company operates. So this is the moment when we will introduce artificial intelligence. We will automate the processes, because it will not be necessary for people ordering the materials. There will be a major stability and no risk. Hopefully, this utopic vision will come, and IT and production will speak in a common language. But maybe digitalization is going in this direction. Just one comment. We speak about the digitalization and its benefits. Many of us are here from the manufacturing companies. What the main benefit is here for us? It is the piece which you will send to your customer, and the customer will pay for it. This is the main commitment. The digitalization is only a help to this. So the product which you produce by your production staff and you send it to your customer, this is the main benefit for all of us. So maybe this could be a final idea, but we still have a little bit of time, and I would like to ask the gentleman from this supplier section to advise the companies, potential customers. So where can there be a hidden potential in the companies which you are able to improve by your solutions? So there are some easy questions, or only easy questions. It's not only about the production, or we are all here from the production companies or who work, or manufacturing companies, or so it's good to look beyond the boundaries of the production or manufacturing. We do the IRP system, so it is not about the production only, it is about the finance, logistics, warehouses, sales, and we can implement automation in all of these areas. But there has to be a business case. I don't want to give you a kind of final conclusion. This is where the hidden potential is. It is necessary for us to find the hidden potential in every specific company, because it can be at different places in different companies. They could be a company with difficult administration or administrative processes, and more software robot processes will have to be implemented rather than hardware. Or we can look at the optimization of warehouses or logistics, because the warehouses often have a lot of assets hidden in some surplus stock, or that something can be missing which is essential for production flow. And these all are the things which we have to answer our questions with regard to the data, and based on this we have to make decisions.
So I don't think it's only about the production, but I think we should also focus on some real benefits for each and every company. Thank you. Do you see the Holy Grail? Well, maybe I will go against because what's been presented by my colleagues from the production plants, I don't think you would present it if you didn't do it the right way. And I think they must be quite well ahead, because I see a number of companies, and currently there are still the greatest benefit is always in the production, both in terms of the records and planning. Once you have an optimization program which optimizes the scheduling, the planning, then at the right time you produce what you are supposed to. The more complex the machine, the more important it is to know what's going to be on the assembly line 2-3 weeks later. Once anything changes, you need to reschedule immediately and again produce the right things at the right time. So these software solutions increase productivity in the same production machinery. You can produce more. So give you an example, our greatest customer, not in terms of the ERP system, we have some other customers, but as regards the APS is TDK. You know that they have plants in Hungary and Austria. And some of you know TDK, you know they used to make cassettes in the past, but the digitalization took away the whole business they had, and now all the production plants have been transformed to the production of transistors and things for printed circuits. So when we deployed APS, they had on-time deliveries, which was about 70%, and suddenly they're at 96%, because in the production they produce something to be kept in stock, but of course now they produce what the customer needs at that time. So this is one of the examples. So if you really want to start, I think that production is the most grateful topic and the most beneficial topic for you. And then, of course, you can continue with the next steps. I think that Jan Václavovič will confirm that there is still a potential in your production which is hidden in the high flexibility. Well, definitely what we are producing, well, all the lines are quite unique, so the The flexibility is the highest added value, but it's difficult to plan because many times even the customer doesn't know what he wants until the very last moment. But that's how automotive works. But still, if we come to the companies who order the production equipment from us, yes, of course, the production provides the greatest potential, and this is where you see quite quickly how effective the digitalization is. But of course, it's also related to the administration, billing, order processing, the entire planning process. This is another huge potential. It's not where you see it immediately, but the potential is still there, based on what we know from the production plants. Well, thank you very much. I think that we have fulfilled the topic that digitalization can increase the resilience of the companies, and digitalization can be an interesting competitive advantage and a necessity for the people here. So I would like to thank you for your time, opinions, ideas, and inspiration. Jakub Hamerník from Continental, Miroslav Zubr from Baumüller, BRNO, of course, Mr. Hégr from Minerva, Milan Tesař from InfoConsulting, and Jan Václavovič from Hégr. So thank you. Unlike the first discussion, this is not an instruction for you to dispel, because we are going to continue with 2 more points on the agenda. So I will let you go so that you can keep listening. And can I announce the next point? So the next item on the agenda, there is a minor change to make it more interesting. The topic is still the support of digitalization of the production plants, ADMA TranS4MErs. But before Mr. Hladík from the Technological Center Prague comes, I would like to ask for a remote connection of Mr. Siemneir. So I hope that he is ready, and he will not only introduce himself, but also the project. So if he's available.
Good morning. I hope I'm audible there.
Yeah, you're on the stage. We would like to welcome you onto the conference. The stage is yours, and we are ready for your speech.
Thank you very much. So my name is Shyam Nair. I am from Irish Manufacturing Research and the Senior Program Manager for ADMA TranS4MErs. So I would just like to give you a short introduction about the ADMA TranS4MErs, what it is there, what it is the program about, and how the program can help the SMEs as well. So I have a short presentation. I'll be sharing my screen if that's okay with you all. I'm sharing the screen right now. So ADMA TranS4MErs is actually a very short acronym for Advanced Manufacturing Transformation for SMEs. So I was actually hearing to the panel discussion that you had earlier, and there were like buzzwords like digital transformation, Industry 4.0, ERP systems, and all those things. So I would be taking a short walk through what it means for an SME, how it can help you transform yourself, and how ADMA TranS4MErs can help you, handhold you towards the achievement, towards the digital transformation. So the first question will be the industry buzzword, Industry 4.0 and digital transformation. What it means from a very SME perspective. So digital transformation, although is all about data, and you hear words like data warehousing, ERP systems. It's a very much socio-technical program. It's not just a very technology-oriented program. It is a socio-technological program. The key part in a digital transformation is to gather as much data as possible so that we can create very good business insights. For an SME part of view, the SMEs will also always be asking, where is my money? How can we better our business? So digital transformation is all about getting those particular data to actually see where you're losing money, how you can optimize the entire process so that you can gain money by reducing the wastage, and also how you can increase your business. So it is reported that in 2022, which is after the COVID, 53% of the businesses in European Union is taking action towards the digital transformation and moving towards the Industry 4.0. And why is that required? It actually is therefore increasing your profit margin, and how you can increase your profit margin by optimizing your production, by reducing your wastage. And this is actually created from the inside, from the data that you collect. The data warehouse, the topic that was actually there, ERP and data warehouse, the topic was there in the panel discussion. It's all about collecting those particular data and creating insights so that it can enhance your profit margin and enhance your operational efficiencies from a manufacturing point of view. And how it can help you in a business terms, it gets you to places where the manual process can't. So it gets you the vision, it gets you the presence in an international stage. It enhances the business acquisition, improving the turnover. So it creates new business channels, which is very important when it comes to Industry 4.0. And why must we act right now is because the relative manufacturing contribution of the manufacturing units, especially the SMEs, is actually declining in EU when compared to other economic zones like the Southeastern Asia, the US, the African continent. So this is because we are not moving forward fast enough and adopting fast enough. So it is a right call right now to have your businesses digitally transformed, or take the actions towards the transformation for better business and getting more presence in the international market. And how can we change ourselves, adopt to the digital technology? Is very simple. One is the mindset to adopt, and the second is the project ADMA TranS4MErs. We are there to help you, to handhold you towards this digital transformation. Now, a short description about what an ADMA TranS4MEr is, or Advanced Manufacturing for Transformation of SMEs is, and how it can help you. So ADMA TranS4MEr is an EU-funded project. It's a network of pan-Europe of SMEs. More than 1,000 SMEs are there, and stakeholders from more than 27 EU nations. So why you should join? The simple answer will be the network. The network that creates you, or presents you a stage to showcase yourself, or give an exposure from a 27 EU nations perspective, giving you a whole new business vision, whole new stage for business, whole new acquisition for new business as well. And what we offer is very bespoke. It is tailor-made to your business needs. We have our TranS4MErs, which is one-to-one consultants working with you to create tailor-made business transformation plans in the DT segment, so that it does not deviate from your business interests. At the same time, it also has the vision towards the Industry 4.0 implementation, or creating your business towards a digitally transformed factories of the future. And we also give financial support. Since it's a European Union funded project, there is financial support to the participating SMEs as well. But I would say our major USP to the entire project is why the ADMA TranS4MEr, and it is because of the huge network that we have. We have more than 1,000 SMEs, and it's growing as fast every day, every single day. And we are having synergies with other projects as well. So it's not like after the end of this particular project, we will be obsolete. But no, we are moving forward with synergies with other projects, other national level and EU level projects as well. So you have access to SMEs, you have a new stage, and we have 250 plus transformers for 1,000 SMEs right now. So that is 1-to-4 ratio. So our transformers or the consultants that will be working with you will have enough time. It's not like, one transformer is handling 10 or 20 different SMEs. No, the ratio between the transformers and the SMEs is quite high. So this is taken with time in mind. The dedication of time that each transformer can actually give to the SME as well. We are always SME centric. The analysis method, how we rate your transformation plan, it's all tailor made from an SME perspective. No two business transformation plans are unique. And we have 7 transformation areas to actually choose from, whichever area that you find good and you find your business vision stands on. Our transformers will help you with focusing on that particular transformation area, moving forward, creating a really, really good future for you. And we have pan-Europe recognized quality marks. Since we are working on synergies with other projects as well, our quality mark is recognized Europe-wide. So wherever you go, if you are saying that we are a transformer certified SME or a transformer we are working under a transformer certified transformer, you will have that particular value, and we ensure that value is kept even long after the project is over, project term is over. So it's a sustainable project that we are looking for. It's not a single term project that you'll be looking on. It means that our network is there to stay, and we have really good networking events as well. So you're all welcome. Like every transformer, every SMEs are welcome in our networking events, which will actually increase your presence in the whole market. And we have transformers everywhere. So we have your local transformers within Czech Republic, and we have the transformers specializing in different categories. Like for example, we have eco factory, we have end-to-end customer-focused engineering, we have advanced manufacturing technologies, digital factory, value chain-oriented open factory. So there are quite a lot that we can actually offer. Am I still audible, or did I lose the connection?
You're still on the stage.
Okay, thank you very much. Because my screen is a little bit stuck, that's the reason why I asked. So the next slide is the path to transformation. I hope you can actually see the path to transformation. So this is the whole program, how the program works. So we have 4 different steps to actually help you navigate to the factory of the future. The first one is that we will assess your current status, how much digital maturity that you have, what is the exact way the transformation plan, the aim, the vision that you have. And based on that assessment, we'll actually create a transformation plan for you, and we will be there continuously, and transformers will be there continuously with you to actually implement that particular journey. And once the journey is midway through, or like 2-3 stages, we'll be helping you evaluate that, and we have more funding opportunity as we go on to the evaluation stage. And based on merit, we'll be actually helping the SMEs to be the factory of the future. So we are not looking at factories which are already towards the digital maturity, or who have already implemented so much of digital technologies. No, we are there for the SMEs. We are there for the factories who have a vision towards digital transformation, and entire digital transformation. Even if they have just started the journey, they might need more of the help along the way, and we are there to actually help them. And I assure you, transformers, ADMA transformers, the program and the transformers in your local area are well qualified and will be able to help you to achieve that particular dream. In this program, we have something known as the magic triangle. So the magic triangle is the focus or the basis point of the entire ADMA TranS4MErs program. We have transformers, who is a physical person. We have the service providers who provide various services within our platform, including training, including implementation and everything. And we have the SMEs at the apex of all. So the transformers, service providers, and the SMEs are the magic triangle for the ADMA program. We have continuous addition of services that are market demand, so each transformer and the service provider can actually ask for services which are in demand and not in the market. So it means that an SME will never feel obsolete inside this particular platform because it's always updated, it's always evaluated for quality as well. And they have 7 different areas of transformation. As I mentioned, we have advanced manufacturing technologies, digital factory, eco-factory, end-to-end customer-focused engineering, human-centered organization, smart manufacturing, and value chain-oriented open factory as well. More on these 7 categories or areas of transformation. I'm sure that your transformers will be able to help you on it if you embark on the journey for digital transformation. So we have the next open call, which is the application date for the transformation, and it is from the 1st of April. So any SMEs who want to actually apply to this particular program can apply from 1st of April in different segments that they want. So they will actually go through the assessment stage first, and after the assessment stage, there will be a transformation plan, and we'll be there to implement that particular transformation plan. And at each stage, your transformer will be there, hand-holding you as well. And if you have any further queries, any further issues that you might need to address, we have transformers.eu website. Please go on, please find that. And if there are any queries at all, there is a help desk that we have, well-settled help desk info at the rate of transformers.eu, and there'll be qualified persons will be answering to you as well. And please, log on to your LinkedIn and follow us on LinkedIn so that you can remain updated about every events that are upcoming as well. And if you want to join our exchange platform, take a scan, please check out the network as well. And please ask our transformers for help, and they'll be able to help you throughout as well. And my name is Shyam. Again, I'm the Senior Program Manager for ADMA TranS4MErs. Thank you for your time and interest. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to take them now.
Thank you for your presentation. Unfortunately, we have no more time for the questions, so we just need to say goodbye and thank you.
Sure. Thank you very much. See you soon. Bye.
A já bych znovu v češtině poprosil, máme tady k dispozici Petra Hladíka.
We have Petr Hladík here from the Technology Center in Prague, who is going to speak about the topic or add to the... I'll just add to what has been said. Originally, I was the one to present this presentation, but I'm very glad that we managed to bring the coordinating organization and just my brief addition to this. From what you have heard, what in my opinion is essential and what you should take away is that among so many activities that you can hear of recently and you can see is also the ADMA TranS4MErs project, which helps you connect with other activities which help people at least partly either free of charge or at least some of part of the services is free, help them with competitiveness and to help them with today's difficult times to go on and to develop. ADMA TranS4MErs is the network which covers the entire Europe. In the Czech Republic, it is the organization which is part, it is the Technology Center in Prague is part of this network. So if you have been interested in anything of the presentation, whether you can be an SME, a manufacturing organization, or an SME who could use these services, or who could be a natural person who will be offering these services, you can be those who will be offering the services to these SMEs through the network. So if you want, please contact us in the lobby. We have a stand there. We can answer your questions and talk to you about the further conditions. It was a very short presentation, but I'd like to thank everybody and organizers that they were able to introduce the program to us. They are the organizers who are involved in the activities of so we have known each other for quite a while, and hopefully will be able to offer the network and the services not only as separate services, which will not be which will be within some other offers, and they will be developed. So thank you, and now the program can continue. I'd like to continue introducing this program. This is the space for major innovation for digitalization at the SME level. Before I let you go to the lobby for consultations, I'd like to introduce and I'd like to thank the organizers that they are able to keep and maintain the inspiration not only in Brno and the Czech Republic, but they are also inspired by foreign places, and that's why we have Martin Žák, who is a representative of Advantage Austria, who will tell us what inspiration the Austrian organizers had, and this is a challenge for you to use this for the further program, not only from the Czech Republic, but also abroad. So now I'd like to pass the floor to Martin Žák. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I don't need two microphones. It was a practical solution because this year we have had 6 companies, Austrian companies, coming to Brno with us who have had very good solutions and the products, and it will be good if the companies introduce themselves here, because Austrian inspiration, as it's been introduced here in the program, is not for the first time. So we've been for the 4th time, and the sub-program of this conference is the Austrian presentation of 4.0, which is good, but I don't want to take your time because this is the last paper before lunch, so I'll be jumping from one company to another or between the languages. I'd like to ask the first speaker from our group, Mr. Aleš Sobotka, who is the ISMO company representatives, to present his company. My name is Aleš Sobotka. I am from ISMO, so it will be a very short one. It's an Austrian company. We are in cooperation with VKL Austria. I am Czech and I am in charge of international markets, so anything that's not speaking German. ISMO, it means artificial intelligence, SE sensors, and MO is monitoring. The goal of what ISMO does is the monitoring of the injection presses and injection mold and their activities. We have sensors. It is a vibration sensor which is connected, clamped onto the press, and we see how the machine behaves. This is the second slide out of 3. We collect data about the machine. So according to the vibrations, we get to know what the machine does. We don't need any connection to any infrastructure, which is really great. We can connect to any machine by any manufacturer without the connection to the IT infrastructure. So how the questions about how we connect, if it's safe or not safe, it is not doesn't apply to us. These are the real data. This is the screenshot of the real data, and we have the production floor, and we have the screen here. You can have it on the tablet or elsewhere, and you can see all the machines, how they run. And here you can see that machine number 1 is at 9%, number 6 is at 10. 10 is maximum at the moment, which was the 8th of February this year. And then I can find out it's running or it's not running. There can be some alarms. I don't if I have multiple machines, so I can see each of them. Then I can set up why the machine got stuck. When I started working in ISMO, I just thought, what should we do about it? And you know that every machine gets stuck about once a day in an unplanned manner. At least our customers have it. They don't know why the machine stops running, and it's good to solve it.
Of energy saving, because you know the machine doesn't stop and it doesn't stop consuming. It's just not producing, which is a major difference. So if it's in downtime for a while, it's not really suitable, and you should deal with that. So this is the target. We have a platform for that, and we can also provide related data. So if you have some mass producers, or if you have some other platform producers and you want to collect data from the machines, so we are open to that. So that's it from my part about our platform. Currently, we have customers in Germany and in Austria. We have the first clients in Bohemia and in Italy. Our expansion strategy is Czech Republic, Slovakia, Poland, Italy, and Portugal, and Spain. So this is our plan. There is a lot of manufacturing plants there, and many small and larger businesses, and in these zones there are companies that have a non-consistent machine fleet. So this is the plan of our future steps. So this is what it looks like in practice. So this is the movable part. For each machine you have a tablet that can be fitted to every machine or several machines. It doesn't really matter, and the operators can set what happened, like it ran out of plastic, or it got stuck, or it can be whatever, wrong pressure. And in version 2, when you collect enough data, you will be able to make predictions, because based on the type of vibrations, we can say that, okay, the plastic is running out, so we should do something in advance before we run out of the plastic, because we know it's going to run out. So this is a simple solution. You connect it, you collect data, analyze it, and you see what's happening. Thank you for your attention. Well, if you are interested in any of it, of course, we have a booth in the lobby. So now we will continue going through Austrian technologies. We have another company. This is a family-run business, quite a large business, Copa Data, and Mr. Reinfried Gesser-Bachl, who is going to introduce the company.
Thank you for introduction, and unfortunately I'm not able to talk in Czech language. I try it in English. Copa Data is an Austrian company, family-owned company. We are located in Salzburg, and we are developing automation software, Xenon software platform. And this Xenon software platform enables your steps into a digital transformation, into your building your smart factory, your Industry 4.0. Xenon software platform is high connectivity with 300 integrated drivers, which provides you with all the data we heard before you need to do the steps into the smart factory. Xenon is also high scalability and flexibility, and yeah. We are working mainly for the manufacturing industry and on a high level, and supports you with all the data and standards you need in your factory. Therefore, we strive for a modern way and innovation, and our vision is to parameterize your systems. No programming skills are needed, and we offer you also a fully cloud-based, a web-based HMI, and Xenon is also working mainly on Microsoft operating system, also on Linux operating systems. So we're also supporting you with online training, with an e-learning platform and a face-to-face training, and also with the support with an online ticketing system, with a documentation as a fully comprehensive documentation online available for your usage. And would you like to improve our experience? Since 35 years, we are working for 4 key industries mentioned here, and operating or have more than 200 systems installed worldwide on successful projects with happy customers. And at the end, I would be happy to get in contact with you for a discussion in details for your solution. Děkuji za pozornost at this point.
Děkuji mnohokrát panu Gesser-Bachlovi a pokračujeme prosím v dalším průletu a máme na řadě právě další velmi inovativní rakouskou společnost, firmu Ivy. Ti z vás, kteří navštívili Mezinárodní strojírenský veletrh, tak ti mohli rovněž vidět jejich produkty v akci a já už poprosím pana Christiana Cinka, aby nám firmu představil.
Thank you. You may know the situation that customers demand more and more quality from you, but they do not want to pay more for that. Furthermore, it's getting more and more complicated to find qualified personnel in order that you can deliver this quality. A survey amongst companies asked what they would perceive that their main risk would be for their future and for their nowadays production, for their company growth, and 67% of these companies said that the shortage of qualified workers is the main risk that they would perceive nowadays. Yeah? Of course, this must have some consequences. The consequences of this is that, for example, if we look to Germany, it's a negative revenue impact of around 500 billion euros until 2030. So that's a huge negative impact. As quality becomes more and more important, also, of course, it gets more and more significant, the costs of the daily operation of quality assurance. So it becomes more and more important and more expensive to deliver that quality. We as Ivy, we developed an answer for that to boost your industrial production. We have developed a digital workplace that is called Ivy Smart Desk. And with that, we can bring 2 main benefits to you. The one is qualification as a service, and the second one is quality as a service. With quality as a service, we mean that we take each and every of your manual process and we make quality assurance. We do the quality assurance, we document it so that if a customer comes 2 weeks later to you with a reclamation, you can very easily do the duty of proof. With qualification as a service, we mean that we take the knowledge out of the brain into the machine. That means if an employee leaves the company, the know-how still stays in the company and can be also scaled. But we are not only doing that for manual processes, we do it along the whole entire production chain. So wherever this is necessary, we can implement our technology. Thank you very much.
Děkuji mnohokrát. Opět připomínám, pokud by cokoliv z tohoto zaujalo, samozřejmě budeme velice rádi, když nás navštívíte.
If you are interested, we will be more than happy if you come. So now it's more about the production. So I would like to ask Mr. Milan Ostrich to tell us what the company IWZ deals with.
Dobrý den.
Good afternoon. My name is Milan Ostrich. I come from the Austrian company IWZ Industrie Bedard. The company has been active in the international market in the field of mechatronics, automation, and business activities for over 45 years. We mainly focus on the area of plastic processing, recycling, automation of the production process. So we make designs, we make deliveries, and we also commission and service individual pieces of equipment. But our specialization is the delivery of comprehensive solutions, not only for the plastic industry based on specific requirements of the customers. We offer production facilities, extruders and rotating filters by Gnois, a German company. These extruders are fitted with a multi-rotating screw, which ensures perfect degassing all the melted material. Then we have the injection presses. These are fully electric Japanese presses delivered by JWC with a clamping power of 300 up to 3,000 tons. These presses offer long service life, high reliability, and very low consumption of electricity. We also offer peripheral machines for all the equipment, automation by the German company Tectory. So this is all kinds of cell warehousing, portal, clamping and handling systems. Our customers are companies dealing with plastic processing, pharmaceutical companies, and companies in the field of agriculture, automation equipment, heavy industries, as well as fine mechanics and automotive. So the company is based in Austria, in Vienna, and we are active in Austria, the Czech and Slovak republics. Thank you very much. So we are proceeding. Definitely, Kebara, the Austrian company, is something you all know. So I'm very happy to welcome the director of the Czech branch office of KESAT, Mr. Herman. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm glad to be given the space to present our daughter company, KESAT. Unlike the Kebel AG, we deal with special automation equipment, so wood processing industry or robotic workplaces for grinding and polishing. Both these operations are typical representatives of Industry 4.0 with human elements. So I will not talk about wood processing, and I want to look at the robotic workplaces. So this is what is available. We have 2 workplaces in Jihlava where we test and demonstrate to our customers that we can grind. So this is a highly complicated technological process. The person needs to set the grinding material, the inclination, speed, and so on. So this is what we demonstrate in the town of Jihlava. And what you see here, this is where we have highly sophisticated solution grinding machines, robots with their own control systems and systems with master solutions. Why should we apply robots for grinding and polishing applications? We keep talking about electronics, but we have to realize the most important thing is that we run out of qualified personnel. They will not be available. Then it's more and more important to follow the hygienic requirements, repeated quality of production. Everyone wants to have the same products, short operating times, more components at a time, and 24/7 operation. So we offer fully automatic solutions, including transport and grinding. And of course, we also offer variability of production. So the typical tasks, this is the second slide. We need to focus on the processes, technologies, and materials. The process as such tells us whether I have some cast, if it's a weldment, what kind of surface treatment I want to make. Technologies, do I need to grind, do I need to polish, do I need to brush, do I need to machine. So brushing, when you have the automatic equipment, it's quite noisy. It may be as noisy as a power saw. So you need some noise insulation. As regards the materials, of course, liquids that they cannot be ground, but ABS plastics, RTM, steel, stainless steel, fillers, varnishes, and all other materials. So that's it, what we can do. You can see my contact details. We'll be more than happy if you want to get in touch with us, so please contact us, and I wish you a nice day.
Thank you, Pavel Herman, for this interesting information, and I would like to ask David Kameš from EIT Manufacturing. This will not be about the production. So this is an interesting company. I think we have the really persevering audience, but I'm sure you will benefit from this. So this institute this is the Lincoln European Innovation to Market Success Institute. We have the Reduction Act, and we have at our disposal the subsidies that we use from the European Union. The Czech companies look that they are not interested in them, or they don't know about them. The EIT Manufacturing is partly funded by the EU or by our member organizations. Out of 50%, they are companies, 50% of research institutes and universities, among them, for example, the Czech University of Technology. This is connected with another network of large and medium-sized companies who we have contracts with. How can you benefit from our network? Our task is to provide subsidies or grants based on the technology or requirements that you have in your production, which means that in our network of companies, universities and research organizations, we collect ideas and problems that they have, and we choose our personal approach and get in touch with them and build consortiums who then apply for the subsidies or grants. We have at the Czech University of Technology, this is our hub in the Czech Republic, which is supporting us. We have the innovation call. How does it look in terms of project time? Just very short information. The project should start at TRL6, which is the technology which works in the laboratory space, and your goal is to get it to the market. The subsidy is of the project which will be as the business owner. If you have any questions, I'll be at our stand, or you can then ask me if you scan this QR code. Thank you, David Kameš, and that was all from us. Of course, the program will continue, but now there will be the most interesting part, the lunch. We'll be happy if you come to our stand. You will learn more there about all these products or solutions. If you are interested in cooperating with Austrian companies, we are here in Brno. We are also in Prague. You can contact us. And in the afternoon, during the B2B discussions, we are also willing to interconnect you. Enjoy your lunch and have a good time. I apologize, really, a few minutes in terms of the organization. So now there will be lunch. Sorry for the delay. But I need to tell you what will happen after lunch. Now we are going to divide into parallel sessions and B2B discussions. In this room, the digitalization section will continue. So if you are interested in that, you should come back. On the stream, we will tell you that we are only digitalization. Who are here, you can also use the parallel session, the flexible production. For those who are on the stream, you will have a record available also from this section. Then we have also the cybersecurity section. I'd like to highlight here that this topic has not been mentioned so much in the morning, and maybe it is neglected in your company as well. So if you don't have time to go there, so please go back to this topic from the records. We will appeal to this topic to resonate more, mainly because we know that the industry cluster, which is involved in the cybersecurity topics, and this topic will be supported in the media much more, and we'll be happy if we look at it in more detail. I hope you will spend a pleasant afternoon here in the conference, so there are sessions digitalization, it will be here, flexible production in the other room, cybersecurity and interviews are in other rooms. So I don't want to delay you anymore, so we'll go back here at 2 o'clock and have the